Hello, girls, guys, or otherwise. This is Rich with your Table Talk Thursday. Excuse me while I get my life together here, real quick. I just want to make sure I'm putting these in the right spots. That was last week's question. Um, so, welcome to our Table Talk Thursday. This is where we sit around. We pull a topic from our Table Topics cube. We tell a little story, maybe if we have anything to share that is. Um, Either with the story or apparently as of last week not really aligned with the topic at hand. Just a reminder that we do have our little witch lady here, the as the tag says, the old hag old hag. Um, and I don't want her to be named Old Hag. So, in the comments below, uh, we're gonna just see if we as a community can give her a name, and she's just gonna hang out with us. Just something fun to do. So, yeah, we're gonna put her back up here where she belongs, and she's gonna just watch over us because I think she's awesome. So. Anyway, uh, before we get into the table topics cube, as per usual, down in the description below, you will find a link that will take you to the website so you can get your own table topics cube. They don't have this one anymore. However, they do have ones that are similar if that is something that you wish to have. Um, let's see what else. Oh, while you're down there, hit that subscribe button because, well, you should. Hit that bell notification hit that bell icon to get notified whenever new videos like this. I'm not cutting any of that crap out. To get notified when any of these new videos come out, possibly if YouTube decides that they want to. Hit that like button if you like these videos. Hit that dislike button if you dislike these videos. Either way, go down and leave a comment as well because it all appeases the algorithmic gods of YouTube. All hail the algorithmic gods of YouTube. Without any further ado, let us go ahead and get into today's topic, which is: should you try to influence others' morals? I would say yes. And that's it. um, I think that morals can be a gray area. And just so you know, my phone is going to go off in about 4 minutes for my 9 o'clock alarm, telling me that it's almost time to go to bed. So, yeah, if you hear that, I'll try to, you know, silence it as quickly as possible. But if it comes through, that's what it is. Anyway, um, I think that we, as a society, should influence another person's morals. What I was trying to say before is morals are a gray area. There's nothing distinct of this is what is morally right. This is what is morally wrong, because you always have those situations where there's nuance, such as if you yeah, stealing is wrong, stealing is horrible. However, if you're stealing a loaf of bread to feed your family, is it really morally wrong? um, because if you don't steal it, something worse can happen. Somebody can freaking die. So is it morally wrong in that situation to steal? And I think many of us would say, no, it's not morally wrong in that situation. Is it morally wrong to kill? Well, in situations of serial killers, absolutely. In the situation of war, we have a different aspect. We have defense and making sure that a situation is neutralized to the with the minimal amount of casualties. And in that situation, yes, people do die, and that is a terrible thing that happens. However, sometimes it is a necessary evil that must take place. So whenever we talk about morals, we have some gray area that has a lot of nuance that needs to be talked about, rather than a blanket statement, this is good, this is bad, good and evil, all that stuff. It is not that black and white in life. It is gray. And so, whenever we're talking about situations like this, I think that in certain situations, we should absolutely influence another person's morals or moral values, because one person might see the world as black and white and have no nuance. I know that just with this last election and, um, talking to some people that I'm working with down in Dover and whatnot, that they will make a snap judgment of if somebody's on welfare or welfare of any kind. It doesn't even have to just be welfare that they've paid into, like unemployment, which is a form of welfare. They don't see the nuance that, hey, if I'm collecting unemployment, I paid into that. I'm collecting my payment into unemployment. Just point of fact, I have paid into unemployment for what, 16 years now, and I have never gained or I gotten any money on unemployment. And there are times whenever I should have collected unemployment whenever I first got out of the military, out of active duty, because I really needed that money. And I've shared this on here before. I almost lost my house because I didn't pursue getting unemployment or anything like that, or not asking anybody for help. There's the 9 o'clock. Okay, so I've almost lost this house for that reason. Now, in that situation, the nuance is, yes, I've paid into it. I've never gotten any money from it. So, should I get unemployment? Part of this welfare system? Yes. Yes, I should. However, there are certain people that will, until you bring, the nuance to them, they will not see any. All they see is somebody milking the system to be able to have the easiest life possible, when in reality, being on welfare is not an easy life. I don't care who you are. It's not an easy life. You're not on easy street. Yes, you may be getting food stamps, you may be getting unemployment. However, state unemployment services and whatnot have certain stipulations that you have to meet in order to keep on getting that unemployment. They do make you do some work for it. And as long as if you're doing that work and you are actively looking for a job, and they will push you to look for a job, or they will take the money away. Stuff like that, they don't understand the system. And I think that's a lot of the issues that we have nowadays, especially, that they hear certain buzzwords, or certain people hear certain buzzwords, and it causes a snap in their judgment of this is right or this is wrong, and that's where they go. And in doing that, we either are undereducated on a situation, or we think we are educated on a situation, when really neither, or when really we are not educated at all on it. Especially people who have, will sit there proudly and say, I've never needed unemployment and I never will. That type of situation. Yeah, they are speaking from a point of privilege. So, and I'm using unemployment here because it's an easy one for me to go to. But I think that the situation of morals, that's an easy one to start with, because it has, those buzzwords that we all hear. And it's, I think, something that, especially with, quarantine and all that people got, people started getting educated on very quickly. Unfortunately, fortunately for me, I did not have to. The company that I was working for at the time kept me on and kept paying me to stay home and stay safe just in case something happened to the other person who was working in the office itself. If anything happened to that person, I'm going to work. That type of situation. But that's just one of the things where, yeah, having morals and knowing that morals can be a gray area, and knowing that there is nuance in different situations is a big deal. And we need to talk about this at greater length and have a more educated discussion with individuals about this. Take for instance the death penalty. There are people that are staunch supporters of it, saying rid the world of these evil ones, and then there are ones that say, who are we to tell anybody, or who are we to end the life of any other sentient being, or any other human being? They may not even go to the sentient part. To any other human being, who are we to take a human life? And then there's situations of, if one person dies, um, as an innocent individual, which has happened plenty of times, is that enough to say that the entire system is horrible, or even the chance of it curbing the capability of other people to do that crime? Say in the instance of murder, okay, we put to death one murderer. Is that going to prevent somebody else from becoming a murderer? No. Studies have shown that it does not work. So, the nuance there is, how much does it cost to put a person to death? The question of how much does it cost to keep that person alive? Having them spend a lifetime in prison. And then you have the big question or a couple big questions of, who are we to end somebody's life? And the really big question is, what if they actually were innocent? So, there are a lot of gray areas whenever it comes to morals. And I think that especially in this world today, and it's probably been true in, other times and whatnot, that we should try to influence somebody else's morals in order to sway the public opinion to what's the there's a political terminology for it. I can't think of it. It's basically setting the curve. Should we be doing that? Or should we be influencing another person's morals in order to try to progress society to a point where we are better, where we get better, where we become better versions of ourselves? So, and I just put the card away. So in answer to this week's question of, should you try to influence others' morals? I think yes. I think that is completely acceptable. With nuance, of course, especially if you have a good, solid moral compass and you have solid reasonings. I think there should at least be discussion there. Now, what you may say are good morals, I may say are terrible. So I would, instead of saying, and I'm just going to say that everybody's a hero of their own story type thing, I'm just going to say that instead of influencing outright, I got a little itch right there. Instead of influencing outright, maybe at least have an educated, rational, logical discussion about morals and the moral compass and where we go as a society, rather than this is good and this is bad. Instead of doing all this good, bad, black, white type thinking, we think more in terms of, Okay, you're saying that uh, capital punishment is good, and I'm saying that's bad. Let's talk about this. I want to hear your side if you're willing to hear my side and have an honest discussion about it. There is no reason that in this day and age, this is 2021, why we cannot have honest, open discussions without it getting out of hand. Um, Unfortunately, we see that in our own governmental systems that, you know, adults, fully grown adults, are acting like petulant children. Um, and yeah, I think we can do better. We have to do better. This is, we're trying to uh, secure this world for future generations, and right now we are kind of massively failing at it. So any type of discussion that we can have, I think, is worthy. And as I just want to stress, as long as if it is a logical and respectful conversation, I think we can have it. But that's all I have for our Table Talk Thursday. And until next time, may you have love, hugs, and ladybugs. Bye bye.